Different type of episode today, and I apologize for the sound quality. The wind decided to pick up during the interview, and I tried to get rid of the wind noise, but then it sounded like we were in tin cans. But I want to start interviewing people in the car world. And what people would you like to see interviewed here on the channel? Put it in the comment section below. I also wanted to take a moment to invite anybody in the automotive sector to email me if you're interested in doing this. Adam from Rare Classic Cars, I'm looking at you. I'm down if you're down. Zach from Shooting Cars, Paul Shin from the Model A channel. I've reached out to all of these people. I've gotten replies from Zach and Paul, but it's been a couple years for Paul. I'm still interested. The offer still stands. I also want to say this offer extends to anybody in the automotive sector. I don't care about subscriber count. It means absolutely nothing to me. And in the spirit of keeping real, it's a very shallow thought when you don't want to work with a channel just because of subscriber count. This isn't high school anymore. It's not like a popularity contest or anything like that, because anybody's channel could be bigger than yours the next day. And that's just how I feel. But enjoy this episode, or this interview, I should say, between me and Joe Ligo from Auto Moments. All right, so we're here today with Joe Ligo, who is the creator and producer of Auto Moments. He also did this awesome documentary on AMC.
Oh, thanks.
And it, yeah, so for you guys watching the channel, I don't know if you've ever watched Auto Moments, but he is the guy that inspired me to do my channel. So I want, and this is like a bucket list thing for me. I've always wanted to just sit down and just talk cars with Joe.
Thank you very much for that, Jay. It's maybe the first time somebody's told me I've inspired them, and I hope that's a good thing. I hope I haven't led you astray by convincing you to devote your life to making car videos like me. But no, yeah, it's when I started making car videos, I guess my first one was way back in 2010. I had no idea that it would become such a big part of my life. It's never been a full-time career. I've always had side jobs. But yeah, I'm very lucky that this is something I get to do, and that the car community and the AMC community especially has been so helpful and kind to me over the years.
So what got you into cars? Like, what was the first car?
Geez.
Like, were you always into classic cars? Or did you just like cars in general?
Yeah.
Did you like everything that exploded, moved, and made noise?
So I grew up on a farm, and I wasn't real big into cars when I was little, but I mean, I was into machines. So tractors, whatever, machines, tractors, especially on the farm. And, as a kid, you get into cars because you're a boy and your parents buy you Matchbox cars and toy tractors. So that's what you do. But like my real interest in cars didn't start till I was like 14, 15, and my brother was about to get his driver's license, and so he was getting into cars. But while my brother was only into cars because he was getting a driver's license, I just fell in love with the whole thing. I just wanted to know everything about cars. I went to my high school library and checked out books about cars. I read Motor Trend magazine and got a subscription. And so that was really like 14, 15 years old is when cars became like the thing that I was obsessed with. And I always tell people that, I came from a family full of boring cars. We were like Ford Taurus people. And so my parents never owned anything fun or exciting. And I think that was kind of my way of wanting to be different than my parents as well. I wanted to own stuff that was weird. I wanted an AMC Ambassador. I liked Packards and Hudsons and all these cars that I'd never actually seen in real life. I just read about them in books. But yeah, it was just, once I realized there are so many different cars out there and so many cars from dead brands that went out of business way back when, it was this kind of obsession with finding out more about all these cars that weren't around anymore. And I guess that's what got me into cars.
Man, that's awesome. You have a very similar story to me.
That's so cool. I mean, thank goodness, like I said, the internet existed when I was in high school, but thank goodness for libraries, right? Because the ability to go to our high school had a subscription to Motor Trend. The ability to go get like the fresh Motor Trend every month when it was in our library, or like the ability to go read big books about old cars. One thing sticks out in my head. I remember there was like a book from the 70s or 80s. It was like, antique and collectible cars. And they had all the different car companies, and they had a page on Tucker, and it said, Tuckers are very valued collectibles today, selling for as much as $50,000.
That was a lot of money in the 80s.
And I was just like, oh, could you imagine being able to buy a Tucker for 50 grand? But yeah, thank goodness for libraries, man. Lots of cool car books I've read car because of discovering it in my high school library.
That's awesome. So, what drew you to the Ambassador? Because it's a car not a lot of people our age would have.
No, I mean, there's a couple different things.
And you've had it for a while now.
I have owned this car. It's a 1972 AMC Ambassador Brougham sedan, and I have owned it since 2017, which is crazy to think of. I've had it over 8 years. But yeah, I was always drawn to the Ambassador. I don't know. It's tough to pinpoint exactly why. I've always liked big cars. I've always liked land yachts and, Lincolns and Cadillacs. And I've always liked AMCs, and so the Ambassador was the biggest AMC. And I mean, it's funny because compared to a Lincoln or Cadillac, it's still like 2 feet shorter. If you park it next to another big car from 1972, it's actually more of an intermediate. But this was as big as AMC's ever got. And I just always kind of liked the name Ambassador. It sounded stately, it sounded classy. I like the little logo they have with the eagle and the shield. I like that it's kind of a patriotic car, that it's got, like I said, the little red, white, and blue shield. It's kind of a patriotic, it's American Motors, it's the Ambassador, it's the representative for the company. So I think all of that, and then also specifically on this generation from 69 to 73, I like the front end design. I like that kind of big grille with the little cusps on the edge. There's a rumor that was inspired by 1930s Packards, because Dick Teague, the vice president of styling at the time, he didn't design the Ambassador, but he oversaw the project. And, there's rumors that he worked at Packard a long time ago and was inspired by Packard. I don't know if any of that's true. I also like that it has I forget what you call it, but like a reverse, like a sharp overhang grill. I don't know the proper technical term, but the grill overhangs, and of course that would never pass pedestrian safety stuff today. But it's a very cool idea. It's not very aerodynamic either, but it's just a very it makes the whole car look like it's leaning forward. And so, I don't know, I think the combination of big land yachts and AMCs and patriotism, obviously, and the grill design, it kind of just all came together, and this is the car for me. And I think Ambassador is a classy name. It implies that someone is reporting, someone is a representative. They're doing something for a purpose, and their reputation matters. And I think Ambassador is a great name because it's not flaunting luxury for the sake of being luxury. It's like you're a representative of something, you're held to a high standard. So I think it's neat. And I just even little details like the logo, the Ambassador with the A, I think is neat. And just things like that. I don't know. The only thing I love my car, I love the brown, but they also had a green color that I really loved. That's almost like a Statue of Liberty green. And those cars are really pretty too. I almost wanted to buy one that was in that color instead of brown, but I ended up getting this one. But all of them are cool.
Do you have your eyes set on any other cars?
So I tend to be, as far as old cars, I think I can, at the moment I can only handle one at a time. I know that sounds lame, but just as far as garage space, I have my daily driver, and my wife has her daily driver, and then we have this car. And so the rule is this car and her car get to stay in the garage, and then my daily driver has to be parked outside. So for now, I'm limited to just one car. Maybe someday, I mean, it's fun to window shop. It's fun to talk with your guys. If only I could get this or that or that,
Well, what would be your...
if
you could get another car now, money wasn't an object, which one would you get?
If storage wasn't the object, if I was going to get another AMC, I mean, it's hard to pass up something like an AMX or a Javelin. They're just all so cool. If money was no object, I'd get a Rebel machine, but those are getting close to six-figure cars. But the red, white, and blue Rebel machine, I mean, how could you not love it? The Rebel machines are so cool because it's still a big car, but it's also a muscle car.
So you would rather have the machine over the Scrambler?
Yes, I'd rather have machine over Scrambler. Scramblers are really cool, but the machine, I like that it's bigger. It just feels angrier. It feels tougher. The Scrambler is the underdog. The machine is kind of, I don't know. The machine is like, I don't care that I'm not the fastest. I'm just loud. Which is
I don't know.
cool.
I think those machines are underrated. A lot of AMC stuff's underrated. Like the AMX would run circles around the GTO.
Right. I mean, AMXs are cool. I mean, for drivability, just a 2-seat AMX, you can cruise all day in those. Those are just lovable cruising cars. Outside the AMC realm, mid-70s Cadillac Eldorado convertibles. I drove one once for a YouTube video, and people still ask me to this day, what's your favorite car you've ever driven? I've driven Porsches, I've driven, Dodge Viper, I've driven, AMXs, whatever. That Eldorado convertible, you get behind the wheel of that and you are just king for the day. It doesn't matter that it's only worth like $7,000. It doesn't matter that it has, an 8-liter engine and maybe makes 112 horsepower. None of that matters. You're just king when you get behind the wheel of an Eldorado like that. But no, my short list.
So you would rather have an Eldorado over a Lincoln Mark V?
But see, that's the problem. Is like, I love Lincoln Mark V. So like my short list would be like a Rebel Machine, an Eldorado, a Lincoln Mark V, and then like an International Harvester Travelall. I've never had the chance to drive a Travelall, but they are just so cool.
And you sound just like me. I have such a wide range of cars that I love.
Right. And I mean, I love new cars too. There's new cars that I love. There's old cars that I love. I mean, I can't be partial to any one particular brand or person or whatever, because every company has a cool car.
Right.
Like every company has a car that's cool. And so I just take one of each if I had the room and the money.
I love the early Nash products because they have the glove box drawer. Glove box drawers are awesome. And
that's
it locks.
Cool. That's really cool.
Different.
Those old Nashes are really beautiful. I'm not big on pre-World War II stuff, but there are definitely some really cool designs from Nash.
Did you ever like the 32 through 34 Nash era? Like with they had the twin ignition 6 and the twin ignition 8s. They look like Duesenbergs.
Yeah, some of those old Nashes are really cool, especially 30 stuff. I mean, once you get to like 20 stuff, that's a little too old for me, but 30s Packards are always cool. I mean, I just feel like those kind of Depression era Packards they're like the quintessential 30s car to me. Maybe not to other people, but to me, I think they're gorgeous and so pure, right? They're not fussy. They're, especially the lower ones like the 120 and stuff. They're just so pure, such a beautiful design. But yeah, I mean, there's so many. I can't pick. If I had infinite money, I'd probably have infinite cars. It's good that I only have enough room for one.
So you're an AMC guy. If you could sit down with anybody from the company, Dick Teague, George Mason, George Robney.
Yeah, so I mean, we interviewed for our documentary, The Last Independent Automaker, we interviewed close to 50 people. I'd say maybe I think about 40 of those people were former AMC employees. And I mean, we interviewed everyone from assembly line workers up to 2 former CEOs. But obviously, a lot of these folks had passed away. And so, yeah, there's a lot of people we didn't get to interview. I would have loved to have met Dick Teague. Everyone I've talked to just said he was a wonderful guy, great sense of humor, incredibly talented. I would have loved to have met him. I think he would be just quite a great gentleman. I think George Mason, the same thing. Everything I've heard from people who knew Mason, it's all second and third hand, but they've all said Mason was just a great, great human. And I would have loved to have met George Romney. I think he would have been interesting too. My co-producer, Pat Foster, was friends with the Romney family and met George. And again, he said George was a great guy. So, I mean, just to have met all those people back in the day, not just because of their love of cars and their knowledge of the industry, but just because from what I've heard, a lot of them were great people.
Yeah.
Bill Lunenburg could be a little rough around the edges. He was president when Roy Chapin was CEO, and everybody said Lunenburg was a good guy, but he was a little gruff. He, every other word was a 4-letter word from him. But they all said that they liked, working with him. He just could be a little rough.
Dick Teague, the stuff that the designs that he was able to do with the budget that he had, which is impressive, especially with Packard. He designed cathedral taillights at the back of the Caribbean.
The 56 Packards are gorgeous, and those are actually like designed by Teague. It's interesting, one thing we talk about a little in the documentary is that automotive designers, nobody ever designs one car purely by themselves. Somebody does the interior, somebody does the exterior, somebody else might do bright work and badging, so it's always a team effort. And I think, that's one thing. Dick Teague gets credit as AMC's vice president of styling for all of AMC's designs, as he should, because he had to sign off on them. But I think one thing that gets lost is that Teague was also great at using the talent he had in that department. I mean, he was a great manager in that he was able to get different interior, exterior guys to all work together on these cars. And so I think not only was Teague a great artist in his own right, but I think he also did a good job of managing the people under him to get great products out of them. And I mean, not every product was a winner. The 74 to 78 Matador sedans and wagons, I don't think anybody is thrilled with that design. But I think given the circumstances, I think Teague and his team definitely created some really great stuff. The Hornet program is a great example of just brilliant design that was cost effective but also stylish.
So what's your plans for the future? What are you going to do with Auto Moments? Are you going to come back? I'm trying to inspire him to come back.
Right.
Because he inspired me. I'm trying to inspire him.
Sure.
He did a kick-ass documentary.
Thank you.
I can't stress that enough. He spent a lot of time on it. And you guys need to watch it. Series 1 through 7 or 8?
It's 6 episodes. It's called The Last Independent Automaker. And you can just catch it on our YouTube channel. Just look for Auto Moments and it's there.
I'll link it in the description.
Awesome. Yeah, so that was great. Taking a little break from that, but we have future projects. I can't give away too much, but I'll tell you a little. So we have a project in the works right now that's still in the AMC realm, but it's going to be shorter and it's going to be more focused on a specific kind of vehicle. Can't tell you too much, but it's a shorter project, kind of a fun, almost like a victory lap for what we just did, where we get to tell some of the stories that didn't make it into the full documentary. So we're really excited for that. Other things, I mean, I have lots of ideas. I don't want to be just the dead car brand guy. You know, people are like, you should do Studebaker, you should do Packard, and I love those companies. But, I want to look into other kinds of opportunities too. There's so many different automotive stories to tell. There's the people stories of the people who design and built these cars, but then there's also the stories of the companies, but then there's also just the regular road test videos that I love doing. So at the moment, our next project is this half-hour AMC special, but then down the road in the next thing, we're trying to figure out what we'd like to do as far as whether my co-producers and I want to make something else, or do we have other ideas for cool car stuff. But I'm not giving up on the car space, so don't, I might not be putting out a new video every week, but I'm not giving up on the car space yet. There's lots of more stories to tell.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome to hear, because he does a great job. He does it with the ads. That's where I got the idea from. I got it from him because he came in with the ads, but I had no idea I was like, how do you zoom in? It took me a year to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a different way of doing it, different software, different, people edit different ways, people film different ways. I mean, I don't claim to be the king of all the best ways to do things. I learned so much from talking to other people, seeing how you shoot stuff inspires me. I'm like, now I need to get a camera like yours.
What gear did you shoot your stuff with?
So when I first started out, I was just shooting on like a little Canon Rebel DSLR and like a tiny little tripod. Then I got a friend of mine suggested getting like a slider, which is just like a metal bar with like just a
kind of like a gimbal.
Not quite, but it's just a metal bar you stick on top of your tripod, and then it just has either wheels or mine just has bushings. You just slide the camera back and forth. So that's how I get all these like slow motion shots, like tracking back and forth.
I was wondering if you shot
old school.
I was wondering if you shot on an SLR, because I was like, the footage just looks so clean and crisp. It looks like he has some sort of SLR that he's shooting with.
And then over time I've upgraded to a camera that does 4K, or for our documentary we borrowed other cameras from my co-producer that were higher quality, like broadcast quality equipment. And so I mean the footage evolves over the years, but the equipment's always changing. But the thing is, like, a good story is still a good story. A cool car is still a cool car, no matter how you shoot it. That's what's fun for me.
I heard through the grapevine that you went to college or school for videography.
Yeah, I went to school for, I guess it was broadcast and digital communications was the official title of the major. But yeah, so I went to school, which was more of a journalism focused program, but toward the end, our senior project was we got to make a documentary, and I'm like, I'm going to be about cars, and everybody's like, oh, you're going to do cars? Who's going to be interested in that? And then I did that documentary, The Unfortunate History of the AMC Pacer, and that was way more popular and successful than I ever could have imagined. I mean, I think it's at 2.1 million views now on YouTube and stuff. I mean, I had no idea,
That's awesome.
no idea that it would be that popular. And that's what inspired me to do the last independent automaker was, okay, well, people like the Pacer. What if I told the whole story? And yeah, I'm very blessed, very lucky to be able to do what I do, either part-time or full-time. I'm so lucky. I'm a lucky guy.
It's awesome, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, thank you, Jay. This is fun.
This was great. I just wanted to come in and thank Joe for spending the day with me on Wednesday. It was an absolute, I mean, it was a bucket. It was almost a dream. Like, Hershey was absolutely incredible this year. I never expect to get the red carpet treatment anywhere I go, but I definitely got the red carpet treatment in Hershey, and I kind of sort of want to talk about it. So I'm thinking about doing it live sometime next week. I will let you guys know, put up some sort of post when that's going to happen. It could be a question and answer and talk about what Hershey experience was like this year, because it was absolutely incredible. We went to a Greek restaurant, and I'm sure the Greek restaurant doesn't know I'm doing this, but I kind of sort of want to talk about it. It's one of the best restaurants I ever ate at, and it was affordable food. It was so good that I went back there Thursday. I took Ken there on Thursday, and I went back Friday before I left Hershey. I ate there 3 days in a row. Absolutely awesome. It's called Simply Greek. If you're into Greek food, it is the best Greek restaurant that I've ever eaten at. And I can't wait to go to Hershey so I can eat there again. But thank you all so much for watching this one. Which people would you like to see interviewed on the channel? Leave it in the comment section below. If you have a YouTube channel or are in the car hobby in general, I don't care if you have a museum or whatever, email me. Let's sit down and talk cars. Invitations open to anybody. Thank you again for watching this one. Until next time, toodaloo!